1, 2, let's go, guys. Another episode, Morning MMA with MillerDC, episode 2. Thank you guys for being here. Forgot the glasses. Gotta rock the glasses, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for another day of life, Lord. Thank you for allowing me to be here and talk some MMA and educate the masses, especially Hito. Hito, firstly, guys, we're going to get right to the MMA news. And if you guys are new here, hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. Firstly, I would just want to say, Hito, I hope you're having a good day. Our fellow friend Hito is a Kings fan. And if you guys know, they suffered a loss in Game 7 against the Golden State Warriors. And I know we are a fight channel, but we just want to send our well wishes to our good friend Hito, because I know he's probably having a rough Monday. And I just want him to know that we're here for him. That's all. Nothing else. Mighty Mouse going to retire. If he gets this win, which we'll talk about, we'll see what happens. But I think he's at at the sharpest he's ever been. But I did watch an interview of him recently, and I forget what program that was. I don't know if it was Submission Radio, if it was Schmo, but he alluded to maybe trying something else. So we can talk about that when we arrive to that conversation. But I think we'll still see him competing, but just maybe not in MMA. Mighty earned good money in one championship. He earned pretty decent money, I believe, too. I forget the exact number, so we can look that up in a little bit. If he isn't late, I might get to watch some commentary. says Boracho. Listen, we're going to get right to it, man. And we're going to judge everything for what it is. Let's quickly start off with what the title says, the BKFC 41 recap. Then we'll go to UFC 288. And then we'll talk about Demetrius Johnson versus Moraes 3. We'll love to hear any questions in chat. So if you guys have any, please let me know and we'll get right to it. Boracho, I apologize for being late. Let's get right to it. And we call this segment...
I don't mean no disrespect on Henry, but that's the way it is. I don't mean no disrespect.
I don't mean to be disrespectful, but... let's get right to it. Did Luke Rockhold quit on Saturday? Let's get right to it. Let's see what he had to say, and then let's see what Mike Perry had to say, and then we'll talk about it.
Well, fuck. What can I say? You can check bare knuckle off the list. Some crazy shit. Those little knuckles got me. Square on the front, too. Maybe a beard.
Hito's happy.
Maybe a better mouthpiece. It's a good fight. It's a shame it had to end that way. Motherfucker Mike, you tough bastard. Congrats. Thanks my sponsors, thanks the people. I'm not done. Some gloves would be nice though. Well, fuck. What can I say?
Let's play it one more time. Play it back. This is Luke Rockhold's message.
Shit.
Look at his tooth, man. You would think in bare knuckle fighting, if you're about to fight, and I'm sure it happens even with mouth guards, but you would assume he would invest in a very good one being his first time. But anyways.
Those little knuckles got me. Square on the front too. Maybe a beard. Maybe a better mouthpiece.
Maybe a better mouthpiece, maybe a beard. That alludes to what Hito says, where that guy is a cornball. He's an interesting individual. He's a warrior, but we'll talk about whether he quit or not.
It's a good fight. It's a shame.
It was a good fight for what it lasted. He landed a left straight down the middle. He actually stunned Mike Perry in that first round and had him retreating just for a bit. He had a decent 1-2. He came out of the southpaw stance. He was the bigger man, about 5 inches taller, I believe 6-inch reach advantage. He's a big middleweight where Mike Perry is almost a small welterweight, but Mike Perry gets it done, and we'll see what he had to say in a little bit. But
shame it had to end that way. Motherfucker Mike, you tough bastard.
Can't believe it had to end that way. I mean, you made it end that way, right?
Congrats. Thanks my sponsors.
That's congrats.
Thanks the people.
Good sportsmanship.
I'm not done. Some gloves would be nice though. Maybe a beard. Squirt me.
Look at that tooth. I just wanted to pause on. Look at that tooth. That's all work and credit to Mike Perry. Now, I don't mean to be disrespectful.
I don't mean no
guys,
disrespect on Henry,
but in my opinion, I I believe he quit. He wanted no mas, and I guess we saw that on back-to-back weeks. First, it was Hito's favorite. Fighter in Ryan Garcia, and now it was Luke Rockhold. But I think what's a worse quit? And we're gonna get right to it. What's a worse, bending of the knee? A liver shot where you can kind of argue that you couldn't get back up, or Luke Rockhold chip tooth doesn't want to continue. Even me, I would argue that Ryan Garcia's quit might be more honorable, where his rib was compromised. He wasn't going to be able to continue or breathe, and as the fight proceeded, he would become shut down. His cardio will be gone. His conditioning will be gone. So here I am, never thinking that I would defend someone like Ryan Garcia, but I would say maybe that's more honorable. Him being in his early 20s, I would even say, the lack of experience, even having Goosen in his corner where he showed him a lot of love and said, listen, I understand liver shot. You'd rather get hit in the chin. Luke Rockhold wanted no mas.
Those little knuckles got me.
Those little knuckles got me. Now let's go over to what my man Mike Perry had to say. And I have that on my YouTube here in my history. I believe it's about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. I thought I had a tab open, but I guess not. Little Bear for the daughter. Where are we here? Oh, this is all the beats I played in order to find a good intro song. But this is what Mike Perry had to say. Let's see.
In there, and he got hit in the teeth, and his mouthpiece was gonna win. I wasn't sure who was gonna win, and it's just unfortunate that it went that way. And he did quit. He said he wasn't quit. He's not a quitter. This and that. It's like you got to be careful with your words, because it's like he kind of spoke that, and he went in there and he got hit in the teeth, and his mouthpiece was shit. It wasn't even a good mouthpiece. I knocked his teeth in, and he quit.
Well,
you heard it here first from Mike Perry himself. So even if we weren't to rely on our judgment, you can say, oh, well, you're not a fighter, you're not this, you're not that. Even though, I choked out a couple people back in my time. But despite that, you heard it from the man himself, Mike Perry.
He quit.
He quit. He says it loud and clear. And that's the problem with certain fighters, where going back to Ryan Garcia, Hito's favorite fighter, and along Luke Perry and others, it will be different if they didn't hype up the fight so much before. Ryan Garcia almost alluding to that he was willing to die in the ring. Luke Rockhold in the press conference, in the weigh-ins, alluding to that he will leave it all out there. To then get a chipped tooth and not want any more, and maybe
he quit.
Well,
said he quit. I think what might have been worse, look at that lip. I mean, even I feel for him. That's a pretty deep gash on his lip, and I could understand why he wanted no more. Maybe he was in there to just get a check and just move along. But that chipped tooth right up around here was pretty bad, but it wasn't like he was stunned. It wasn't like he was badly hurt, as far as his senses wasn't all the way there. He knew exactly what he was doing. He said he wanted no mas, and he decided to quit. Boracho says, yes, chipped tooth is a worse quit. I agree. I think it was pretty, to be that much of a veteran, at least I could give an excuse to Ryan Garcia. That experience of not knowing how to deal with the big stage in that moment, having one of the best closers in Gervonta Davis, I could understand. And I just wanted to make a poll there for you guys real quick, so you guys could have that on the side. Let me close that right here. I see a vote already for Demetrius Johnson. Choking out people your size in your time. So you played, are you tougher than a city great? Listen, man. Listen, man, let's just say I came in second place in a world championship. Look it up. Look it up. I came in second place in a world championship, but let's move on. I don't want to keep educating Hito in what we usually do, but in my opinion, I believe Lou Rocco did quit, but it doesn't seem like he wants to hang it up. He wants to continue fighting, and that I quite understand. He wants to keep making money. Where we'll see him next, I'm not sure. Maybe some sort of kickboxing, some sort of boxing. He did allude to him wanting to wear gloves in whatever promotion he fights in next. So I guess the bare knuckle thing, it just wasn't something for him. Now, when it comes to the BKFC, I would say a great event. I love Chad Mendes. I loved Eddie Alvarez fight. I thought it was quite fantastic, quite phenomenal to watch them go at it. I picked Eddie Alvarez to win on Saturday, and I believe it was like 68% to 32 for Chad Mendes. A lot of people felt that Mendes would win, and I think that's because of the suspected roids that he was on. I think that he just looks more chiseled, even though they're both a little bit up there in age. He looks a little younger as far as physique. Eddie Alvarez was able to employ his jab, landed some uppercuts. It was funny to see Conor McGregor. I don't know if you guys saw the video. He was Conor McGregor is an interesting individual. He was coaching both fighters. As crazy as that may sound, he was coaching not only Chad Mendes but Eddie Alvarez. He was telling Eddie Alvarez to land the uppercut when Chad Mendes would come in. He was telling Chad Mendes certain advice from the stands. But speaking of BKFC, I said this on our stream on Saturday. I personally, I have the UFC right up here as far as you could say what you want about Dana or the organization, about the fighter pay people have a problem with, or you know how they might favor certain stars where they felt like Kobe shouldn't have got the chance at the title so quickly because he lost his last fight against the champion, or he lost for the belt twice, where they felt maybe someone else like Gilbert Burns should have deserved it, or Bilal Muhammad. It seems like sometimes they favor their fighters, right? But at the end of the day, in my opinion, when we're strictly talking about who puts on the best events, and guys, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, #1 commentary channel on YouTube. When we're talking about who throws the best events, I would say UFC's up there, #1, right? I don't think boxing under one promotion puts on enough events to put them right up there. So I'm going to exclude the sport of boxing for now. If we're talking about organizations like the PFL, ONE FC, CFFC, Bellator, and BKFC, I would put the UFC #1, and right under that, guys, I would put BKFC. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. I don't mean no disrespect to any other organizations or organizations like Bellator that's been around longer than the BKFC. As far as entertainment value, I remember watching Lorenzo Hunt get a knockout. And then just this past weekend, we see Mike Perry, who has won 3 times in a row in bare knuckle fighting. He has become a star. And I was alluding to this in our last stream as well, too. When we see retired UFC fighters or older fighters that choose to move on and go to another organization, I believe, babe, something's leaking. Something's leaking. Look. No.